part where we come to the stock. This is obviously the butt stock. I have sanded with both 220, 320, 400 wet, wet dry paper, and then a final of quadruple lot steel wool. Now, with that being done, I also take a tack cloth. I also take my tack cloth and I clean off any spare dust that may be on there, especially from the steel wool, because it leaves little pieces of steel wool. That just gets the final pieces done. And I apologize in advance for the whitewashing, basically, of the footage. That's what it has to do, because it's a nice day out, door is open, need fresh air anyway, it comes staining. And so what I'm using here is a Minwax, obviously wood finish, special walnut number 224. I usually use an early American for everything because it's still like a walnut color, but I really wanted to bring this back to a walnut stain. And so I am stirring it. You don't shake stain, you stir it because you don't want to get air bubbles in it. And I'm stirring it with a dowel rod because I don't have any paint sticks. And so this shouldn't take too awful long. That looks pretty good now. Put that down there. I'm using a 2.5-inch brush. I would normally, with a project like this, I would normally use a bristle brush, such as a, probably a poly because it's easier to clean, but a horsehair, just because it's finer. But I'm using a sponge brush with this now. So you just want to get your excess off there because I don't want a bunch dripping on. And obviously, if you know what you're doing with stain, you're going to just brush it on. And you can see there, it's already looking pretty good. We'll just brush it on. And the longer it sits, the darker it's going to get. So I will soak the whole buttstock first, and then I'm going to wipe it off just to make sure, because you don't want a whole bunch on the buttstock unless you want it really dark, but I don't know how dark I want it yet, so I'm going to put a small first coat on it, wipe it off with a clean cloth, make sure I don't get any drips in there first. I didn't put a wood sealer or anything on this to begin with because I don't see any need to really. I've done multiple firearms restorations, and I mean, obviously some people out there, if you're watching this, you're probably wanting to do the same thing. You can do whatever the hell you want. I've been doing woodworking for quite a while now. And it's just, this is my process. I think this is what I know what looks good after I'm done. And the very last thing that's going to come in this whole project is going to be the butt pad, because I'm going to get one that you basically shave, you sand down to the exact dimensions and degrees and everything. So basically make your own, and right now I cannot afford that. I know Packmeyer there's a bunch of companies that make them, but the one I saw at my local gun shop was a Packmeyer. Oh shit! And the dealer, or the gun guy, the owner of the shop, wanted $35 for it, and for right now I cannot afford $35 worth of butt pads for a gun that's not going to be shot. And so until I can find something that's going to be looking good while still functioning properly, like maybe one at a gun show or something, I'm not going to go and purchase one. So with this project, I've really eaten through my cloths. Let's take some medical shears here. wipe that first coat off. It really does look good so far compared to what it was. So much better. And the trickiest parts on firearms like this, buttstocks exactly, is in these areas where these all have technical terms and I don't know all of them, but in this little area right here, other than completely hand smoothing it, I did a lot of hand smoothing, but in this little ridge, that was a pain in the butt. So. And this is oak. Here the filler is oak, and so the only way I can really try to get it dark, because it's kind of a yellow wood, not so much a dark red, the only way I can really get to it to get this color is to basically just sit there and let the stain sit. I should have used mahogany, which would have got me closer to the red color, but for the little strip of mahogany that my local store for that cost was not really worth it. It was like 15 bucks for a strip of like 1/4 inch by 1 inch or 2 inch mahogany, about 6 inches long. I was like, seriously? So I was gonna get screwed if I bought that, and I don't feel like spending that much money. Like I said, most of the stuff I have already here, so that's why I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money. And you know what? I'll just go ahead and we'll just brush on another coat. And obviously you want to go with the grain. And I use foam brushes too, so I don't have to clean them, I can just toss them away. Forgot to mention that earlier. But this, this gun's 100 and some years old, and so the wood is very dry, because a lot of wood, when you get it, actual wood stocks, when you pick them up from, when they're fresh from the maker, they're not completely cured. They won't cure. The wood's dry, obviously, because they used it, they milled it and everything, but it will not cure like an old gun stock will until years. And so, when you get into surplus firearms, like Mosins and stuff, and they use the Cosmoline, that stuff is what really just saved this not only just the metal, but the wood furniture was the Cosmoline to go all these years. And, I can't really get all these cracks out. And I think I showed you before, but there's a giant crack right here, a crack up top, a crack on this side, a big one right here, which you can probably see that little white line there that I had to fill. This one right here, because this crack and that crack, these two cracks they come to a point right here and it popped out. And then I did crack the stock up here I had to drill and bore out and plug the buttstock holes, and it did find a hairline crack, popped it when I was popping in the plug, and there's a little bit of a hole there from where the filler and everything didn't do too well. But you know what? Character. This gun's gonna go on the wall somewhere. Stock already looks good. The metal looks fantastic. I've got the second coat on the barrel right now of the second coat of I say that and then I go drop the barrel earlier, so it's probably all scuffed up now. But the barrel is now ready to be buffed and put together, I guess. Now I've got the fore end, and I won't do a video on the fore end just because it's going to be the same process as this. I will do a finished video when I do the clear aerosol semi-gloss, or actually it's going to be a gloss finish, because I like that. It sprays on clean, dries within 30 minutes usually, and it's ready to go within an hour and a half to handle perfectly. So, well, stick around and see you then.